me a favor. We need to talk. Bro, be careful. Hold camera while doing it. मैं इधर तेरे पास मैं तेरे को कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा, ऐसे करूँगा तो हट जाइए, मेरे को उधर से जा, वहाँ से जा, यहाँ से कैसे जाएंगे? थोड़ा सा पागल है क्या? कैमरा के बीच में जाना। अच्छा नहीं होता। आई नहीं ब्रो, वरना आया वीडियोग्राफर। तू कैमरा के बीच में नहीं आ, बस बीच में मत।
Dear audience, kindly rise to welcome the esteemed speakers for today, accompanied by our distinguished principal and director, Ms. Vandana Marwa, and all our honorable dignitaries.
I can't see. अभी लाइट से चालू होकर देना होगा कैसे? मेरे को इशारा कर। तू पीछे रहता है। मैं मेरे को देखना है।
We request the audience to kindly put your phones on silent to ensure an uninterrupted experience for everyone. A very good morning to one and all. Welcome to Delhi Private School Sharjah's third edition of TEDxYouth 2024. I, Sagrika Mehta,
and I, Aryan Khanna, are honored to be the hosts of today's event. This year, our theme is AI and the Metaverse.
Artificial intelligence is a reflection of our development and can give us the answer that we have been seeking all along. It is about teaching the machines, thereby evolving existing technology. But are the shining benefits blinding us from the dark reality? Or is AI and the Metaverse the answer to our questions?
Technology. It's advancing faster and taking less time to be widely adopted than ever before. Now it seems we're the dawn of a new age, the age of AI.
Even though the thing that was going to change everything was starting to actually change everything.
We're at the dawn of a new age, the age of AI.
This new technology, the thing that was going to change everything, was starting to actually change everything.
of meticulous planning and preparation, we are delighted to have you among us to be a part of this experience as our accomplished speakers narrate their journeys, guiding us in the ever-evolving world. It is our pleasure to extend a warm welcome to all the esteemed schools and renowned universities attending today's event.
Today, we stand at the crossroads of time, gazing back at a remarkable silver journey that began 25
Do not just mark 25 years of existence. We celebrate 25 years of impact, of stories shared, of lives touched. From meeting real-time heroes to experimental learning and
igniting the passion. My story is a bit unusual. I have been to school like you. I was a full science student. Fortunately and unfortunately, reason my story remains a little bit untold, unseen, and unusual because there were no cameras, no phones during my time way back in 80s. And I don't put much in Google too. So I can't find out much about me going forward as well. I lived in a childhood, it's not, guys? Okay, so here, I lived in my childhood. Today, they were hunting by arrows, searching for their food. One of the most advanced species in the world when it came to maintaining health. They knew the nature, they knew exactly what they were eating, and they loved the color red. They were caught once by the government, but during this time of my life, I lived in nature, had fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. I can imagine no power in the night after 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. We were put to bed at 9:45 every single day. And that led me to believe that we can love with minimum and we can love still be very happy. We did plant trees too at that time, which we talk about today, that we must preserve the nature. Nature can be preserved by us, of course, using AI, but we in the room have a role to schools. I'm pretty taught to be disciplined, taught to be staying, aspired, as I said, to be an engineer or a doctor. And that is something which we have to focus as we go forward. As I transitioned, as I was introduced, being a chef, I moved into corporate world. And when I moved to the corporate world, I must tell you that I used to almost end up sleeping on the chair. I need to work a little bit more because as a chef, you really work a lot. But I stayed focused and I stayed to work and to create experiences for my students and open a baking school. In the baking school, those days, nobody likes to learn from people who don't look elder, the teachers. So I had to put on a chef cap, nobody can figure out my age, and they will learn with me for 5 days. When I take out my cap, so you're the guy who was teaching us for the last 5 days. So coming back to what I learned in this message is all about to be sure twice, then confident once. I think all of us, when we work toward AI systems or processes and so on in our lives, I always say, whatever you do, be sure twice, then confident once. And that is a message that I follow till today in my life, whether it's corporate world, designing factories, whether I build offices, or I learn new things too. And that goes by learning AI as well in our lives. As you know, evolution is must. I know as the introduction video spoke about that evolution is happening. Is it scary? Is it going to be helping us? Is it going to destroy us? Is it going to be living with us next door? And for me, that is, I always say, life for us, just consider you're a spot on a chessboard. Every move you make, you're going to have a multiplier effect of the last one. So the technology is going to change so frequently at such a fast pace, where if you not embrace it and you will not live with it and learn to abide by it, I think we all will get either outdated or we will not exist. So change is coming. So I think it's good for all of us to embrace the change too. Now, all of you know, historically, chatbots came now. You can see all types of things happening. And people pick up a phone and call to book a airplane ticket, or you want to call a bank. They say, no, please talk to operator. During my time, we used to hire and recruit people with the most beautiful voices. It didn't matter how they look. Either you could speak sweetly, convincingly, and politely, and respectfully, we were able to service our customers efficiently well. And that is where we learned that customers, again, need to connect emotionally. And if you connect with them, they look after you, they feel they looked after. And that is where I feel today when we are greeted by a voice on the phone on the other side. I'm not sure how much patience do we have to be able to go through the whole process of an automated system. So here again, going forward, AI may have to capture how do we bring in those beautiful voices back? How do we make them? People talk about all types of AI, but I talk about dynamic AI. How the AI can be dynamic, they can react to a person on the other side with the same level of emotions, what the other person is expressing, so that he can really or she can feel connected. As you can see, the future of customer service, that's what we expect to happen from moving into the business going forward. So that's what is going to be the future. Now, as you see here, as a chef, when we were buying the stuff on the kitchen, we go to any of the flight kitchens, any of the stuff you go, what happens when you receive the raw material, you will have to check everything by hand. It will depend on the skill of the person who was actually receiving the material. But today, with AI and technology coming in with smart code, with printed QR codes, with printed electronics, we're able to make it better. So certainly, the skill we had will now be taken over by AI going forward. It not only simplify life, it will create more trust in the system. But I always say, we are all Indians, most of us, we always say we trust each other, but we still put 6 locks on a suitcase. So I think the trust is going to be something going to be unique coming out of AI going forward, and that's the belief we have to have, but human brain can only think so much. And we also looked at science in our business of processing the food processing industry. What happens is that you have to be able to service your customers well. Now, there are only few organizations in the world who today pick by piece. That means when they deliver products to the stores which you buy from, those are being picked by piece. And there's something which now can be automated using AI. I visited a warehouse in Italy recently where now there's no human interaction at all. The robots do everything. They pick up from the warehouse, bring it to the place, and they pick it up and they go deliver it. So again, an adoptive AI, and also going forward by creating these warehouses in metaverse. People have been talking about experiences in the metaverse. Recently I was exposed to food wars, and the food was coming up in the UAE as well. We have a new metaverse of food manufacturing companies. That's where we see that the world is moving in that location. We also find that digital twins are getting created. Of course, it goes back to AI ethical code, whether I'm going to be able to put my knowledge and my IP into the system which AI will learn everything about me. And that's a path we have to be careful with. So I still say I want to remain human. I need to adopt AI, but how do I bridge the two together so that we can create something which is more sustainable? Customer understanding. All of us are customers to either one each other, or we are customers to our vendors, or we are customers in one form or the other. We are very much dependent as a customer to be cared for. Like even if you want to go buy vegetables from a vegetable vendor, you really want him to look after you well. You like tomatoes, you like onions, you go buy dresses, you buy your fashion clothes, you really want to be cared, you want to go to designers. Why do you go to designers? Well, you want it customized, you want it personalized, you want it to be for who you are, what you want to be, and what you like to feel good with. And that is understanding today, which is going to adopt itself as the machine will continue to learn, continue to adopt, continue to learn our emotions and our way of life. We are pretty sure that AI will one day come, and there will be integration of the customer expectation, customer understanding, customer belief will get translated and merged with AI. So we have seen recently some cases, a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, where you could actually go to a show home. You don't need to build a show home anymore. You can just go and look at the home. You can put on your computer. You can pull out a drawer. You can see how the wardrobe will look like. And that's become quite prevalent today in the world of AI. But I'm still not sure. Of course, this has got further complicated by people like who are delivering things to you. So we have a habit now to order, comes home, and then you reject it. You could not do this earlier. So I think why AI is helping us to be more selective and be able to use our brain, but it's important that we remain still part of human. I think one thing which has certainly helped us and helped, I think, the new generation like yourselves, or who are the future for me, because I'm now, I think, going to look at how you guys will contribute to the future, is important that it will reduce the time for training. I think training has been one element in our lives, especially living in the region that we live. Training is a continuous process. And I must tell you here, I was actually fortunate not to go to any universities in my life. So unlike all of you aspire to going to university. So my training was given by people. People are my school. And that is what I'm here to learn today from you after the session from the rest of the speakers. As we move forward, this looks a bit scary, right? If you're going to be sitting in a room of negotiation, on the other side you have a robot negotiating with you. He or she will have far more knowledge. I recently had a case study in Germany where, by German law, the court did not allow to the friend of mine who was actually reconstructing his heritage house. He wanted to change the roof. He was sitting in front of the lawyers, and the lawyer said, no, you can't do it, it's never been done before, and we can't allow you. He went to ChatGPT, posed the question, he got 4 reference cases on his phone. He told the lawyers, here are the 4 cases, and now, how do you do? They have no choice but to agree. So certainly, the knowledge base, which is coming into the business, into either AI or ChatGPT, is all about sending the right coding, right triggers to be able to get the right output. We say garbage in, garbage out, and same thing in our business. So if you put the right coding, you'll be able to rightly get the right answers. And that is the skill one has to have. But let's be cautious. All of this in this room, let's say we combine the age of everyone, let's say we've got 2,000 years of knowledge in this room. But the 2,000 years of knowledge sitting in this room will be worth nothing in front of an AI collectively. And that is a challenge. And that's my worry. Because we spoke in the original video about the jobs being lost, what will happen to build jobs, and so on and so forth, how we going to negotiate, there will be no more secrets, there will be no more IP, there will be no more all sorts of boundaries. So let's get prepared that it's coming. Let's get prepared that more data-driven we are, better we will be, and more capable we make it to embrace it to ourselves, better we will live with it. Because it's better that we use it to our advantage than to our disadvantage. Now you can imagine, simply in your office, when you grow up out of the school, you may have your colleagues who are actually not your colleagues. They're just robots. And it can happen, and it will happen. I'm not doing it today, I'm not doing it tomorrow. But let's say I live my life for the last 40 years in this business. For the next 40 years, I'm pretty sure this will come. And I think you can't avoid it. And that is where the machines will come to closer to the human element and human aspect, which I know many LLMs are being developed around the world today to capture the emotions, capture the feelings, capture how we think and how we speak and different dialects. So I think it's very important that we keep our emotions in control and we coexist and use as a co-intelligence tool rather than something which we don't know. So I think that's something we should be looking at that aspect. Just imagine if this was your boss one day in your office. He had everything on his fingertip. He knew how much sale you have made, how much business have you done, what have you created. So what will you do? I think there's something which you can't ignore. Of course, I'm pretty sure human element will always remain. We still like to touch each other, feel each other, shake hands with each other, and we still like to hug each other, and we still like to pray, and we still like to do many things ourselves as a human being. So I think humans will coexist definitely, but definitely some of the jobs and some of the processes will get automated to extent that there'll be virtually no humans required for those jobs. And that's one thing which you have to be called. I still make an effort every day and every year to meet 600 new people every year. And I make that conscious effort as a KPI for myself, for they are my school. And I still need to stay connected with people to learn. And that's exactly what AI and LMs are doing. They're trying to connect with people like us and trying to see that how we can, how they can learn from us and give back to us. You know, that's how this all works. Coming from the food industry, there's been a lot of discussion around food waste, and what you eat is what you become. We spoke in the morning in the school that we are talking about how do we look after our well-being, how do we look after our health, what do we eat, how our neurosystems will work, and how the neurological things will continue. And I know many years ago there was neuroscientific trial being done for the food. Just imagine you went to a shop which had a Christmas aroma, Christmas feel. There's a shop next to it, did not put the fragrance, did not put the right atmosphere. The sales were almost like 10 to 1. But we are still a neurological people, we still like to go through our neurological science. And food is certainly being seen as a contributor to what we do. And being a chef myself, I think for us, as I always say, I want to remain a chef all my life, whatever I do. And definitely, I believe that even Michelin star chefs now are actually creating new food. I came across a chef recently who created an entire menu built by AI. Not only the build, but the design, the process, the team, the presentation. And now they are serving that in the Michelin star restaurant, for example. So definitely it's coming. And when we are creating cakes for myself, when I was creating the cakes and desserts, I was carrying all those data, all those learning from every single consumer and trying to create something magical for them. But now with Internet of Things, with all sorts of tools available, I came across recently where you have food waste in your kitchen or you have remaining food. There's a new app being developed where you key in the ingredients in your kitchen and then will come up with a recipe for yourself for the day. In the past, it was my mother, what she would offer, she's no more, but she was the one who was doing it. She didn't even take off the peel of the peas and make things out of it. She didn't take off whatever is not being wasted. But today, who has the time in the new generation? And who has the time to think? Who has the time to go through the life? And that is where I think AI can help value to youngsters in the future, mothers and future families in that direction. And certainly, I believe you'll find soon AI in your home, which already exists through Echo and Amazon and so on. But what I see today is you will be able to cook the food which you like to eat using the waste which you have in the fridge. And I would really encourage each one of you, when you go back home, when you go to the kitchens, one thing I learned as the first discipline I introduced into my kitchen, open the fridge, look for what is expiring, look what is getting old, look what has not been eaten, take that out first, make sure that's consumed first, so that nothing is wasted. I would encourage each one of you, AI will come into your lives, but it's better that we get habituated as a human being first before the AI takes over our kitchen. But there is hope. There's a hope. And I always say to all of you in this room, there's a hope that in the new digital world will further ignite more passion. We're going to certainly ignite more thought processes. Certainly will allow us to accept more what we are not accepting today, but we see it either a threat or as a worry. We are not sure what AI will do to our lives. We don't know that today. But definitely there's a hope. And what my only hope, which I have, is to have a balanced society. How do we balance the AI and humanity together so they coexist and we are able to maximize the best out of the technology which we have to live with? This is how I think an overlap will happen over time. With the human brain, and we spoke about in the morning about heart and brain. I normally say when I speak to my team, I always tell them I want a full body commitment. I don't want it, my heart is in it, my mind is in it, my hands are in it. I want a full body commitment. And that's what I feel over time, that's what's going to happen. Each one of you in this room, as you go forward, you have to see that this is coming. But what I also believe, what took us so many years, for me personally too, to reach where I am today in front of you, I think that life and decades will get shorter and shorter as the technology will become at a pace which we will not be able to fathom if we are not ready for it. And certainly that's where I see the future going. In today's state of mind, we spoke about the past, speak about the future, but going today, in the industry which I come from, food is essential. We all know that. I met some young students in the morning who do medicine. Of course, food and medicine have to coexist. And of course, we can't ignore the beauty part. But we all want to look good, especially after the COVID. Because we all want to look nicer. And I was told recently in UAE, all the plastic surgery went up very high, and a lot of technology came into the picture, and a lot of people are trying to do what they do. But in our food business, what I see today with UAE and the neighboring countries, there are a lot of requirement of using AI in agriculture, using AI in what we are living our life, using robotic taxis, and so on and so forth. So certainly, AI will help us to optimize supply chain, what we experience as human beings, got to make our processes better, make our decisions also smarter. But again, I go back to what I believe personally is, whatever we all do, we must remain and maintain the element of human being into it. That's what makes us different. And whatever AI will do, we are dynamic people. No? We behave every day different. I don't think each one of you behave consistently the same way, smile the same way, laugh the same way throughout the day. So as long as the AI will not adopt to that sort of a behavior, I think humans will have a place to live forever in the middle world, but we'll have to be able to work on it better. This is, I see the interaction, as you've seen this in the movies. You see movies like Star Trek, I guess. Many of you have seen other movies in the past, which are movies before, now they became reality. And I think, going forward, you will see that humans will start interacting with the virtual world or with so-called robots. And you might find, which people still have to do, still the AI robots are all metal, right? They don't have any flesh and bones in them. They don't have flesh and bones, they're not so flexible as we are as human beings. So one of the skills, I think, which I would like to keep saying to myself, that more flexible I am, more available I am, more I will learn, and more I will learn, I will continue to grow. And that is something which AI will have to learn over time. And this will be something the future will evolve. You know, we have seen movies with head of half robots and half human being. You shouldn't be surprised that it is going to be the future, with all sorts of cellular science, where the meat is not grown in the lab. I don't know how many of you know that the meat is grown in the lab now. They're growing chicken in the lab, they're growing coffee in the lab, they're growing milk in the lab. So I'm pretty sure sooner or later, this will also happen one day. The topic of me giving a topic of the conference, igniting the unseen. I think we're not seen a lot. We don't know. Is it a dark hole? Is it going to be a longer journey for us? But we are all heading towards it. And we don't know how deep this is going to be. We don't know how far it's going to be. We do not know how we're going to reach there. But if we want to reach there, we want to be there, we want to be part of it, we have to again go back and embrace it and overlap with our knowledge and overlap with what we are doing and trying to be friends with it. I think that is where I say the world will move. I'm a believer of sunrise. So I think there's a hope. And there is a hope and there is a requirement that we need to embrace as long as the sun is shining, as long as the sun is setting, and the moon is rising, that all the evolution with AI will be all about behavior assessment. Today is all about behavior assessment. It is all about what has happened to a common man using ChatGPT. It's nothing new. I used to publish in India in 1991 my magazines in 8 languages without Google translation. We used to deliver products and recipes and products and magazines to everyone on the street, spoken in the language they were coming from. And so it is indeed possible. But I'm still not sure when I speak to the tech tech companies, they say, okay, we're still looking at translation, printing recipes, and printing magazines using AI, for example. But there's more to exist. So this is all what I am. I'm just, nowadays I say I'm a plumber and a fisherman because I did my life with all of you, but I thank you so much, and I hope it was inspiring for you.
Your inspiring journey and words of wisdom remind us of the honor we have to host you today. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Manaz Zafar is a senior consultant psychiatrist and associate professor with extensive experience in mental health. She has over 2 decades of experience in psychiatry with a focus on community and rehabilitation services. She leads community psychiatry services at Emirates Health Services and is a global mental health advocate, holding key positions in international organizations like the World Federation of Mental Health and the World Psychiatric Association. Her tremendous contributions make her the perfect inspiration for our students. Without further ado, here's a short narration of Dr. Manaz's story. Please join us as we welcome Dr. Manaz Zafar Ali on stage.
A very good morning to one and all today. And thanks to DPS Sharjah for giving me this opportunity, and especially to the charismatic leaders. A very good morning to one and all, and thanks to DPS Sharjah for giving me this opportunity, especially to the charismatic leaders who have shaped this school to what it is. I'm Dr. Manaz, and thank you for this wonderful introduction. So today I am here on this beautiful place. In next 10 minutes, I'm going to change your life. Hell no. I'm not going to do any of that. But I assure you that once you leave from here, there will be at least something that you will be able to recall when you go back home. I'll be talking about my journey and help you to unleash your potential while harnessing the power of your mind. My humble journey starts from the capital city, Delhi. Though I was born in Iran, but I grew up in Delhi and I lived there. I grew up in a cohesive home of family of 4, where my parents and my elder brother, and a house which was full of awards, trophies, and medals. Yes, my family was very towards the achievements, success, and towards a lot of positivity that could come in. We had strict rules about timings, about the time that we are supposed to do, about having lesser of extracurricular activities. And guess, did it shape me into what I am today? Well, this brought me to the age-old dilemma of the conflict between the heart and the mind, where your mind tells you exactly what you need to do, but your heart always wants more. I topped every year except for the last. Because in the last, the heart started to take me towards things that my mind kept blocking me. I did not take my gold medal. And that is when it started striking to me that I want to go and reach to the power of the mind. The power of the mind, especially, which controls us all. And sometimes our mind can be really punitive. It can be very harsh, telling us what exactly we need to do, and does not let us take care of ourselves. This is when I decided to go into the field of psychiatry. I tried to learn psychiatry actually because failure was hard. Not getting to a place where you visualize yourself to you was not something very comfortable to be in. Our mind is like metaverse. Metaverse which is full of lots of things that are going on. There are lots of zones in our mind, conscious and unconscious. So every single day in our mind, we get promoted. Every single day we win a lottery. Every single day we go to the gym. And every single day we eat healthy. But this mind just wants to believe. And the reality, the harsh reality, is far away from there. So what are the barriers to actually unlocking our potential? The barriers to unlocking our potential are fear of failure. Fear of failure and peer pressure, societal pressure, the prejudice, the stereotypes that are all around us. And one of the biggest critic that we have is negative self-talk, where we don't need frenemies. We are ourselves enough. You're not good enough. Maybe what are people going to think about you? How is someone going to react to that? We do all of that, and then we do that to our kids, to our families, and our loved ones. Unleashing our potential requires a total transformational journey, and everyone's journey is unique. Everyone has different ways and reasons why they want to change. And I would be sharing about the 3 golden rules of my life. It is not something that I have discovered at a glance or something, but I have learned over the years. It has taken me a lot of time from school to university to different places. And now these are the 3 rules that I would like to bring in front of you. The first is the rule of self-love and self-belief. Yes, when we say that self-love and self-belief, does it mean a day at pedicure or manicure? Does it mean maybe a day of cheat meal day? Is it something that we are saying that having a mental health day, which was 10th of October? No, self-love is not about that. Self-love is all about putting your needs first. It is about taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, taking care of your time, taking care of your rights, standing up for yourself, and saying no to people. Now that's the very, very big problem. It's a trap that is set out for all of us. We are social animals. There is an intrinsic need for all of us to people please, to please everyone else. And it is a vicious cycle. You know why? When people are happy with us and we see exclamation marks in front of them, there is dopamine that triggers in our brain. The dopamine which tells us that, wow, you're worth it, you're good. And that is when we start seeking validations from everyone that we find and that everyone that we come across. Yes, this is what, even now in the world of AI, we are having robots which has been programmed to look at the facial expressions, to realize that your voice tones are kind of different, that they're reflecting anxiety, they're reflecting fear and pressure. But we as human beings, oh, we are another level. We camouflage everything that comes to us. We are saying, oh yeah, I'm doing good. So how was your day this weekend? It was great. Oh really? What exactly exciting thing or a new thing did you do this weekend? I don't really know that. So we are very good at showing that everything is just so good. By practicing self-love and self-belief, we need to do some mechanisms like visualize. So honestly, you need to visualize that you are winning a lottery ticket, or maybe you are winning an award, or you are actually in a TED talk and there are people listening to you and not sleeping. I mean, that visualization is very, very important. You know, not because you shouldn't dream, because when you dream and you see yourself, the probability of you being able to live that dream becomes much higher. Or it's a very, very common theory that athletes, they visualize themselves winning a race, and that is why they ace it all. Other techniques like affirmations and positive thinking. Affirmations like, oh yes, I'm good. So I know that we people are the millennials, not the Gen Zs here, but the millennials who were born much, much before. But I would like to reiterate the fact that we are born with the intelligence, the real intelligence, which is infectious and envious. We are the ones who are bridging the gap from the Gen X to the Gen Z. And that's what makes us very, very special. Affirmations and positive remarks like, say, asking somebody, starting a day and saying that you're looking good today. Just this morning, that is what happened to me. That when I walked in, someone told me that you are looking great. And that affirmation streamed up my hopes. It made me feel somebody that I wanted to be. And that is very positive. Next is about the second rule that I would say is understand your brain. Understand your unconscious. Understand your unseen. So our brain, the neuroplasticity has already made a mark, showing that our brain can be molded into becoming a better version. We are constantly learning. We are constantly Flynn effect is an effect that with every passing generation, not only the AI or the technology is growing, but human beings are becoming smarter. So my daughter at 3 could use her mobile phone and could do everything. I mean, it was very surprising to me because we didn't grow up with one. And it is amazing to see that having a growth mindset can make so much of a difference. So with this difference, I have kind of gone way, way, way ahead. So I was meant to be a doctor in the beginning, and then I became a psychiatrist. And I did my residency program in India. But when I came to UAE, I only understood that the equalization of the degrees is not similar. And I was like, I'm not stopping there. I went to the UK. And that is where I did my psychiatry once again. And then I took the fellowship from the American College of Psychiatry. I said, UK, America, this is the world, and I need it all. Why should I stop? And then I became a mother. And when I became a mother, everything around my life started to change. And I started to feel that when the young kids are born and they are raised, they have a mind of their own. They imbibe a lot of you, but they have innate abilities which needs to be harnessed. They don't even know what they're capable of. And that is when I went into the field of education. So I became an associate professor of the universities and started working with a lot of schools as well for mental health. And that is the time that there was a technological drive all across UAE. And I started getting digitalized myself. So I became the chair of the Health Information System for the Emirates Health Services. And I am the sole psychiatrist, the only doctor who's practicing psychiatry, teaching students, having my own home, and building behavioral health solutions in the entire UAE for mental health alone. When I started my journey, I was giving prescriptions on paper. And now I'm trying to find how is the easiest way to save time, to save cost, to improve access to care, to remove the barriers, how to keep patients safe during COVID, how to keep them at home. And this is what a growth mindset has given me. This didn't come automatically, but from the book by Paulo Coelho, which was very inspiring for me. And there is one line from there that I have imbibed, which is, the world is full of possibilities. You just need to be open and let everything come inside. Needless to say, I also did something very, very difficult. So doing psychiatry, doing mental health, doing the education, and doing the digital health was also easy. But what was more difficult was to learn these short forms. What is GOATed? I mean, GOATed is greatest of all times. What is FOMO? Fear of missing out. Learning the 7 names of the BTS group, which all look alike, was even so difficult. The one other thing is about not procrastinating. So this is where I would just like to briefly share the 5-second rule. Every time you're procrastinating, you're not lazy. It's just your mind is uncomfortable. It's a protective response. So one thing that you need to do is count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and launch. This rule is very, very powerful in activating our brains and driving all the energy through the prefrontal cortex, which is the area of planning. The third rule that I'd like to show is about moderation and consistency. So I'm a perfectionist, and this was my biggest weakness. I had very high standards in my life, and 10 years down the line, I just want to be good, but I want to be consistently good. I don't want the ups and downs, the troughs and the crescents. So the only one thing that we need here is a daily habit to enhance mind power. Read more, learn more, go into different trajectories. If you go to the school from this side, take a route, take an alternate route. Try to meet new people. Try to see a lot of Insta reels, but in moderation. If this is something that is fulfilling your interests. So daily we need to learn. With all this that is happening around, I have been able to achieve and make my mark in the world, where I was able to take the international designations to become the director of the World Federation of Mental Health, to become the chair of the Women Mental Health in the World Psychiatric Association, because I knew that we are limitless. I would like to end my words to all of you by this quote from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, an inspirational leader. The future belongs to those who can imagine it, design it, and execute it. It isn't something you wait, but rather you create. And the future belongs to each one of you who are in this room. Thank you very much.
Ma'am, today you generously opened a window into your magnificent journey, and we are deeply grateful for the opportunity to hear the rich tapestry of your experiences. Thank you.
The floor now opens for Mr. Ali Khawaja, a senior instructor at the American University of Sharjah, specializing in management, strategy, and entrepreneurship. He holds a bachelor's in science in MIS and an MBA from the same university. Mr. Ali is deeply engaged in student advising, startup mentorship, and research on entrepreneurship, blockchain, and digital marketing. Mr. Ali's extensive experience as an educator, entrepreneur, and startup mentor makes him an ideal TEDx speaker. So let's witness a journey where academia and entrepreneurship amalgamated in this short presentation. Let's extend a warm welcome to Mr. Ali as he walks on stage.
Can you hear me okay? All right, fantastic. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ali, as you saw, and TEDx guys, whoa. All right, so I'm a lifetime educator, and I think part of education is to impart knowledge and to entertain. So I always joke with my faculty that after I retire, I'll get into stand-up comedy. So we'll see how entertained I can keep you today. When I was invited, and thank you for the invitation, it was a wonderful opportunity, and I got to thinking, what do I want to do with this opportunity? What's the journey I want to share? So someone who's been in academia well over 20 years, consulting and advisory, I have 2 startups that I have advised who have gone on to get funded by Y Combinator. I have investments in multiple AI companies, 2 currently and 2 before, well before COVID and ChatGPT existed. So today's topic is about education and AI and how we can provide equitable and accessible access to education. So I want to start by telling you a story about Zoha. Zoha has a young mind. She's brilliant at the arts, design, visual thinking, but she struggles with math. She's okay in some of the sciences, but struggles in some of the others. She sometimes has trouble getting things done in a timely manner. She takes longer than her fellow students to finish tasks, but she has meticulous attention to detail. And she's in a classroom just like everybody in the audiences. And she is different, as her other colleagues are different and different and different and different. Just like our fingerprints are unique to us, the way our minds work are also uniquely different. And the problem I have with this is the educational systems that we all are part of, this building as well as the buildings that I teach in, we don't cater to the individual. We cater to the classroom. We cater to the group. We cater to the cluster. But within that group and within that cluster, there are differences. As I just told you, everyone is unique. You remember this from your school days and your university days. Let's talk about education. When we talk about education as an institution of education, it is designed to provide a bulk service. It is designed to provide a standard of education that is matched to specific age groups and age brackets. It is designed not to cater to the individual, which honestly, if you think about it, is a disservice. But how would we rectify this? How would we, challenge the status quo? The truth of the matter is, and this is, again, somebody who's got 20 plus years of experience in education, is the system is flawed. That's the reality. We do the best we can with what we have, is where we are. How do we change this? How do we change the status quo? So the first time in our lives, we have access finally to technology that will allow this to happen. And this is where I think, for me, the greatest story of AI comes in, is application in education. Let's talk about the student, the individual student. AI will now enable, through a handful of assessments, to gauge and measure the student's current capabilities, their strengths, their areas of interest, things that they excel in, and things that they have difficulty in and they need more support in. And using this assessment, AI will further be able to develop customized learning pathways, unique to each and every single student. And this is where everything is absolutely brilliant. Whatever things that are of strength or of interest for a student, the AI will help accelerate it. Whatever things that are of weakness and trouble and difficulty, the AI will help develop additional learning modules that the student at their own time and pace and speed can learn. And this is truly going to change the current experience that the students have. Right now, they feel bored in class because they already know what's going on, but the teacher is forced to maintain a particular pace. Or they feel behind and they're struggling, and then they have to spend time outside of the classroom trying to catch up. So they feel overwhelmed and stressed and anxious. And because we want to teach everybody the same thing, we don't cater to the individual interests or the individual strengths. AI will enable all of these wonderful things to happen. So that's the student side. I want to talk about the educator side. So all of us educators try to do the best we can with what we have. But now, what we have has changed. What we have is access to AI. And there's great discussions about how AI will change the jobs, or it will change you, or you will not be required. If technology was going to change my job, YouTube would have done it. Khan Academy would have done it. But I'm still here. A lot of my faculty are still here. The role of us as faculty will change into what it should have always been. The role of an educator should have always been of a mentor, of a guide. Now, the educator can step back from the mundane, the educator can step back from the day-to-day tasks, and then focus with AI to help each and every individual student excel at the things that they have interests in, the things that they have strengths in. They can be the guide to help students, and I'll tell you three things, to the students to help them understand what their passion is, what their purpose is, and what their path should be to accomplish it. How many times have we asked our students, what is your passion? What is your purpose? Students have been told one thing: do good, get to the next grade. Do good, get to the next grade. Do good, get to college. Do good, get to career. Do good, and you have hit success in life. Maybe it's time to reevaluate that measure. Ultimately, and it's interesting how you showed Tony Stark up there in the beginning. Good work, guys. I want you to think of AI not as artificial intelligence, but augmented intelligence. Let AI, dear educators, let AI be your Iron Man suit. and then call in the Avengers. I think the Gen Zers caught it. The rest of you, I don't know. So I've talked about the student, I've talked about the educator, and now I want to talk about the parent. Let me bring that young person back into the picture who struggled studying in the evenings to catch up to what she needed to do at school. And as a parent, what do you ultimately want? You want your child to be successful? And we already have a skewed definition of success. But truly, really, as a parent, what do you want? Me as a parent, I want my child to be happy. I want my child to be content with life. I want my child to be a valuable contributor to society and to humanity. So when and this is again, that child I talked about is my own daughter. So when I would sit with her when she was in high school and say, why are you stressing? Why do you have so much anxiety? Why are you in a panic? It's just a test. It's okay. Baba, you don't understand. No, Baba understands. Baba's been there. And Baba's been teaching at university for well over 20 years. If anyone understands, I understand. You acing that test tomorrow is not success. How you're feeling right now, this to me is failure. Skip the test. What's the worst that will happen? I'll fail. I'm like, and? So what? You know what? Take a year off. Take a gap year and hang around with Baba. I mean, I think she wanted to hang around with her friends, not with Baba, but that's what I would have liked. Well, she didn't listen. Why? Because peer pressure. A lot of times we create toxic environments of hyper-competitiveness. And again, what is the measure of success? All of us know nobody asks for your grade when you go apply for a job. They'll do an interview. They'll assess you on the ability to perform the task they need you to do. Nobody's going to ask you in 7th grade math, quiz 5, what grade did you get? It doesn't happen. So as parents, I think our duty of care is to our child. Our educators, our duty of care is to those young minds. Because ultimately, these are the minds that are going to step into the future and build the future we have. And all of what I have said, we are all thinking about ourselves as educators or students or parents. But we've left out an entire demographic, or two massive demographics. 20 to 25% of all people around the world suffer from some form of mental health and wellness issues. Stress, anxiety, ADHD, dyslexia. Guess who can help with all of those? Customized learning pathways built using AI will help with all of those. And when we discuss all these things, it's important to look at the global perspective. And the global perspective is amazing. Right now, I have many young minds around the world in towns and villages where they simply don't have physical access to a quality institution of education. It's too far. We have lots of young minds who could be brilliant adults who don't have access because the language that the knowledge is available in is not the language that they know. So they have a barrier to learn another language to learn that knowledge. And finally, yay capitalism. Access to quality education comes at a very, very, very high price. AI will level this out. So we will be able to provide access to education for young minds around the world. We will be able to provide democratized access to education around the world. And we will be able to not just level out, but specialize, customize, personalize for each and every single student. So I'm going to conclude by something my mother told me when I was growing up. And I still hold that quote dear to heart. She said, in the pursuit of excellence, be fearless. So I invite all of you to challenge the status quo, not to change because something is wrong, because it's not. We want to change because we want to make it better, because we can. And Brene Brown always said, if you know better, do better. Thank you very much for listening.
This mic is fine? Yeah, this is mic. Because
A guide for today's youth, a role model for education, and an expert in innovation and technology. Mr. Ali, we are thrilled to have had the opportunity to delve into your path. Thank you, sir.
Our next speaker is Miss Universe 2019 Solidarity, Mrs. UAE United Nations, Her Excellency Dr. Isha Farah Qureshi. She is the visionary speaker of IFU Technologies and a leading expert in Metaverse and Web3. With a doctorate in technology, she has been recognized globally for her contributions to innovation and leadership. Her dynamic background spans technology, media, and social activism. Through impressive software and strategic planning, her company, IFQ Technologies, helps its clients navigate the complexities of the digital world, ensuring they remain competitive and future-ready in an ever-evolving technological landscape, making her an ideal speaker as we embark on this journey to AI and the metaverse. Let us now delve into Dr. Isha's life and her contributions. Dr. Isha, we request you to kindly come up on stage and share your story with us.
Right. Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? All right. Let me tell you something. If you can't beat them, join them. I know what's running in your mind. You may be thinking, beat who? Join who? Isn't it? I'm going to answer all your questions. Oh my God, Aisha, what are you doing here? This is my TEDx stage. This is my limelight. I don't want you to steal my limelight, okay? No, that's not going to happen.
Hey, Isha, I'm not stealing your limelight. I'm here to support you. I want to say hey to everybody at TEDx and wanted to wish you good luck.
Alright, thank you very much for supporting me. I love you so much.
Love you too, Isha. Together we shine brighter. Now go on, you've got this. Have an amazing TEDx talk.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what I was talking about. If you can't beat them, join them. I know you all are thinking, is AI going to take over the world? Exactly, I'm talking about artificial intelligence. Why don't we co-create our life with AI? When you have that fear, is everything and anything on the planet is going to take over by artificial intelligence? Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a story. Story of me, Isha, and Aisha. We both are born together for the same parents. We had an amazing time. We enjoyed our life. So I'm going to tell our story. Are you ready?
Always ready, Isha. Let's inspire together.
Alright, this is our childhood picture, you know? We grown together, our infancy phase or toddler time. It was more like a conditioning, you know? Don't do that, don't do this. It was always based on instructions, instincts, guidance. Sometimes our parents used to catch our hand and make us walk. And in her language, I shall always say, I'm a rule-based system. I work on probabilities, I work on if and then predefined statements to perform my task. That is true, because we are a kid, right? You need to be guided every now and then. However, as the day passed by, we started learning and understanding the things. I started recognizing the object, I started memorizing it, I started using my memory to experience it. And I shall always say, I understand the context-based system. I started retaining my knowledge. And based on that retained knowledge, I started performing the task. I'm sure you agree with that. And the best thing happened during that time. She understand one single word have different meaning based on different contexts. saying like, fruit can smell and nose can run. You got what I said, right? So we started growing and I wanted to master skills. That's when I learned dance, I learned swimming, I learned, talking, that's why I'm here. And similarly, Aisha also started to master indefinite, defined domains. She started beating me, she was outperforming me in many aspects. She's very fast, very intelligent. But however, there was a fault. She was not able to execute any activities or tasks outside her domain expertise. But she was so determined. She knew that I'm more intelligent than her and she wanted to be more intelligent than me, and then she started working out more and more to improve her intelligence. Well, this is the most dangerous stage, We both are in the teenage at that point. And she says, I started thinking, reasoning, cross-questioning and taking decisions. And same goes to me. I don't listen to my parents because I have my own opinion. I start to prove my points every now and then. So she does that as well, isn't it? And she started getting expertise in many verticals. In spite of she getting trained in specific domain, she also started reacting and acting. She understands who you are, what context are you talking about. Slowly started behaving like me. Now I started getting fear. Oh my gosh, she's getting more intelligent than me. And my parents are more fearful because they think, what if she take our decisions alone? What if she disobey us, isn't it? This is exactly the stage that we both entered into our adulthood. I call it as wisdom, but she called it as artificial general intelligence. She started performing multiple tasks at the same time. Her brain started behaving more intelligent than cognitive abilities of human brain. She started being independent. And this is exactly where she started doing informed decisions. Guys, I made friends, and so she did. She have a group of community now. She talks to her friends every time. I started developing emotions. She started developing emotions too. And I made my own world and my own identity. And Aisha created her own world and her own identity. Now, this is the time that we are scared. My parents are very scared, What if she comes to a singularity? What if she starts to suppress human brains and start ruling over us, getting into an autonomous mode, getting into a self-driven mode, getting into a self-decision mode, and completely disobey each and every one of you and her own parents. However, guys, while this fear is always there in the mind, this is where the most important element lies. Our parents gave us culture, values, ethics, and responsibilities. This is exactly I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Artificial intelligence is not the problem. The creator, the parent, he holds the control of artificial intelligence. If you have ethics in place, if you know the good intention to be used for AI in different verticals, that's where it's going to make the magic. And our parents taught us how to be a good human being and good AI being. Now look at this slide. This is a very interesting slide. Going back to a Stone Age, how much time it took for us to reach to the internet era and then artificial intelligence. Look the way that we have walked from the Stone Age to the internet, isn't it? Any technology for that matter, be it an automobile, be it an internet, be it a telecom, anything and everything took its own sweet time to get adopted. Including the cloud adoption, if I say, it took more than 12, 13, 14, 15 years for getting into a cloud mode, and still we have entities still do not subscribe for the cloud yet. And we were always in a fearful mode when we had internet banking. Is there anyone without an internet banking account today? No. We don't want to walk anywhere. We want everything on the fingertips. Same goes to that. A nuclear power bomb can be used for protection as well as for distraction. Same way, artificial intelligence comes up with its own pros and cons, and you know how to use, and your creator should know how to use. Now, let me sum up some of the use cases or what are born from artificial intelligence. Education. One of our gentlemen, our speaker, Mr. Ali, Dr. Ali, is already in line with my vision. Teachers to teach better, students to learn better, parents to be more engaged, regulatories and institutions to be more efficient. Where you have an artificial intelligence, we talk about psychometric analysis, you talk about personalized curriculum where one size fit for all is not going to work in education anymore. Textbooks are getting vanished, we are getting into 360-degree immersive experience with AI teacher. And that bridges the gap between education and the employment where you are getting skill-based training to be efficient to lead the world tomorrow. And look at the health. I'm sure you would love to have a personalized doctor who understands your history, who understands your interests, who understands every behavior of you on day-to-day basis, who support the doctor to create a personalized treatment plan, to eliminate any errors in the treatment, to protect your health benefit. If you don't quit smoking, your lung is going to look like this in 3 months. Your skin is going to look like this in 3 months. This is so amazing, isn't it? This is what AI does, and much, much more. And if you look at the banking industry or the fintech industry, a personalized experience for every single customers and cost reduction and revenue generation is something every BFSI industry today looking for. Surveillance is something I really love. I love AI-based drone technology to protect your country, to protect the people in the country. With the world's lightest and fastest facial recognition cameras that can protect anywhere and everywhere, especially making use of safety of the children and women as well. Looking at the AI sustainability solutions, this is amazing as well. Carbon reduction that we talk about, AI satellite-based technology allow us to monitor the carbon emission from the minute of minute leaves to the rootlets into the soil. To that level, you can also develop the entire farming, be it any geography, be it any climatic condition, be it any temperature, any sunlight, or any kind of soil fertility levels. So if I start talking about the benefits of artificial intelligence, it never ends. So 5 important use cases I have already discussed here. So I believe it's a time that we realize how artificial intelligence is going to help us. Let's co-create our life with AI is a message that I want to give you. And if you can't beat them, join them. And you know what? Aisha, she is my best buddy always. So be friends with Aisha and always start loving the new adoption. It is the survival of the quickest. It's not the survival of the fittest anymore. Thank you very much.
Isha, I got so emotional hearing our story. Yes, guys, we make a better world together. I will be always there for you. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your insightful words. Listening to your words was indeed a very enriching and exciting experience for us.
Breaking boundaries, inspiring change, connecting the southern greenery with the northern serenity of snow-capped mountains of India. We now have the man who brought every Indian's dream to reality. He is the visionary who brought revolution in the Indian Railways. Yes, you're right, ladies and gentlemen, it is none other than Dr. Sudhakar. Dr. Sudhakar retired with apex grade at GO1 from the Indian Railway Service of Mechanical Engineering as General Manager in Cycle Coach Factory, Chennai, after serving the Indian Railways for 38 years. He is a fellow of the Institute of Mechanical Engineers, London, Hindustan Institute of Technology and Science, Chennai, and Sir Padampat Singhania University, Udaipur, have conferred upon him the degrees of Doctor of Science and Doctor of Philosophy, respectively. Presenting to you all the highlights of Dr. Mani's glorious journey. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you the father of the Vande Bharat Express, Dr. Sudhakar on stage.
Good morning, all of you. So I have this gracious invitation from your school, and the theme, as you know, is artificial intelligence. So I went to somebody in some superior intelligence and I asked him that I have this invitation, I don't want to say no. There's going to be a crowd of accomplished educationists and very smart students. Well, I know something about natural stupidity, but not much about artificial intelligence. What do I do? So he said, well, speak on whatever you want, just try to be original and good. I mean, you forgot the problem is what is original is not good, and what is good is not original. Nevertheless, the school was kind enough to permit me to blabber whatever I want, so here I am. Another caveat, allowed to blabber, but don't forget that I'm a railway man for life. And I have an inherent right to be derailed. How long I'm going to be derailed, I cannot promise. I'm the last speaker, I believe, so brace yourself. He's shutting me down right now. Sure. So I did manage to choose something very neutral and boring, and that is India at 100 years since the independence. So We are in Amrit Kal, and by 2047, we are told we are going to be a developed country. How many of you do believe that? A lot of you do. I also do. It's not a question of how, if, and when. The question is how inclusive it is going to be, because there's a lot to be done in India. Great development on one side and some pathetic scenes on the other. I do take recourse to some superior intelligence of my uncles, so I'll recall Shakespeare here from Merchant of Venice, when Portia at one stage says, if to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, if to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches and poor man's cottages, princesses' palaces. In the same vein, for me, to come and lecture to you as to what is good to do is no good. I'll only stick to something very little, that is little that I was able to do thanks to a team, and how I was able to do it. Proof of the pudding, as I call it. So you know, railways set up by the British to control India resulted in unification and contact across the people. Gandhiji used it to good effect, and it eventually played a big part in our liberty, and then after independence, in growth. There is a lot of romance as it passes through villages, waterfalls, deserts, desolate here, crowded there, pathos, celebration, joy, mourning, so much so that the destination becomes unimportant. It's the journey which becomes the objective. There's nobody who really remains untouched, but I'm not here to talk about this romance. Where is it going today as India moves to 100 are the questions. Is it really acting as a green quantum growth today? Ready for that? One of the reasons, I must tell you, is railways is 8 to 10 times cleaner and greener than road and air. And that's what it makes it absolutely necessary that railways be encouraged to help our environment. I'm not going to tell you the story of the Vande Bharat train. This was a semi-high-speed train without locomotives, developed entirely in India by a very audacious, by a team with a lot of chutzpah, which I had the fortune to lead, and they turned out this product in 18 months. In 2018, it became an icon today. Nearly 70 to 75 services run today. It has become an icon. It's just a train, it's not a Mangalyaan or a Chandrayaan. Perhaps because everybody in India thought this was something India had built for itself. A product Indian made for Indians entirely on their own. It's there, you can see on auto rickshaws, on buses, in exhibitions, in magazines, in journals, on everything not even remotely connected to railways. Why did it happen? I really don't know. We didn't really expect that. But the Prime Minister covers it beautifully when he says that it has become a symbol of an aspirational and resurgent India. And from the story, I'll just pick up 4 or 5 things to act as a takeaway for my young friends. I'm not saying this is a great advice. If you like it, it may be of some use to you as life opens up for you. What has happened is that enough for India at 100? There are many things which we have to do, and those are, you see, there's so many new technologies. We need higher speeds than getting stuck at that 160, 180 kilometers per hour. We need more safety. Even yesterday there was an accident near Chennai and a lot of people got hurt. We need more efficiencies. We need lower logistics costs to help the economy as such and improve the travel experience. The takeaways, there's something called transfer of technology. Somebody who knows more transfers it to you. I don't think I believe in that. It is an oxymoron. And why do I say that? If technology is a creation which lives in the heart and the mind of the creator, it is not amenable to transfer. In India, we are stuck between being mindlessly global and hopelessly local. The truth lies somewhere, being close to local, not hopelessly local, but hopefully local. मेरे शेर आईना खाने में तेरी बेशुमार अदाओं के, मगर ऐसी भी है कोई अदा जो रहेगी सीना ए राज में. I can go poetic about your beauty, but there is some elegance in your beauty which will remain buried in my heart. Nobody is going to get access to that. That is technology. So if we have to create our own, I'm not saying you know everything, you can do everything on your borrow, develop, whatever. But you must have, you have to buttress it with your own, with your ownership and pride. And that can make you do 110, 120, 130% more than what you are otherwise capable of. I'm not going to talk to you about technology, and of course I don't know about artificial intelligence. These are some very soft skills which may be helpful to you. In Q&A or informal sessions, I'll tell you a bit about AI when I was writing my 8th book, a collation of Shakespeare and Ghalib, and how AI became a rival, but for the time being, human resource is still your most important resource. And that's why, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do in life, in whatever role, you are a leader, you're dealing with human beings, you're a leader, you have to start with empathy, trust, and humility. You have to start with love. It's not natural for you to love everyone. It's not human. You're going to be a leader, you have to manufacture it, you have to construct it. And when you do, the gains are going to be immense. एक लफ्ज़ मोहब्बत का अदना ये फसाना है. This word, love, has this brief story. एक लफ्ज़ मोहब्बत का अदना ये फसाना है, सिमटे तो दिले आशिक, फैले तो ज़माना है. As the Countess in All's Well That Ends Well, if you've read that, love all, trust a few, do no wrong to none. So words in England, words in India, they take us to that. You have to love your organization, in your case your school. You have to love the people who teach you, who love the people who serve you here, and you love everyone, all your colleagues here. That's the beginning you have to do in whatever you want to do. A word about trust. In India, you will find the system set, unfortunately, by the British is based on mistrust. You come to a position of power and there's a lot imposed on you so that you don't go, you are kept in check, because Indians are not supposed to be trustworthy. Unfortunately, 75 years after freedom, we still maintain that system. Time has come to give trust a chance. Some people may misuse it, but anybody in a leader's position has to be given complete trust, which we did while building the train. I'm not getting into the detail, but it's a powerful tool to do things which we usually miss. And then I said humility. You see, pride enhances you. You look at everyone with happiness. It is an enhancer. Vanity diminishes you because you look at others trying to belittle them to elevate yourself. I got the sanction to build these 2 trains by putting up my case if it was not working out fully, by falling at the feet of the chairman railway board who was in the work. By falling at his feet, vanity, which one of you is going to kill in any case one day, why not kill it yourself today? It's just a picture. Indian Railway. All you need to go is to break these walls and just mix with those people. A lot of people talk about success, so sorry, I'm not stealing anybody's lines. And in the end, there is an outcome of value. That is success. I will define it differently. You're doing something, you give it your passion, your commitment, your hard work, your everything, your life. You have succeeded. The outcome may not be of value. You may fail there, but how long can you go on failing if you're giving your life to something? No, you won't. Success is going to be there. As I show in the sketch here, these are merely stepping stones to success. What's in your hand is to give your best. And this is what happened when they said such a thing has never been done in India. Time-wise, otherwise. What if we fail? He said, don't even think about it, give your best. Outcome of value prevents us from attempting. The fear of failure prevents us from accepting. We remain in our comfort zone. My uncle Shakespeare has called it beautifully. Our doubts are traitors which make us lose the good. We oft might win by fearing to attempt. गिरते हैं शह सवार ही मैदान जंग में, वो तिफ्ल क्या गिरे, तिफ्ल means children, वो तिफ्ल क्या गिरे जो घुटनों के बल चले. As you grow up, your parents, your relatives, everyone, people like me would give you an advice, go, having not lived our dreams all our life, they'll come, go and live your dream. I modify it to say, there are 4 things much more important than anything in life. That's your family, your health, your friends, and your spirit. Look after that. One of the speakers did speak about that as well. What if you fail an exam? Don't put yourself under tension of that kind. Yes, look after these 4 things, but don't let that dream die. It'll be like taking out the wings of a bird so that it cannot fly anymore. Don't let it die, let it linger, let it be in one corner. An opportunity will come your way to realize your dream someday, like it did for me when I was 57.5 years old. Don't let it be extinguished and extinguished. And when that opportunity comes, remember these wonderful words of the people's president, Abdul Kalam. Dream is not the thing you see in sleep, but is that thing that doesn't let you sleep. And at that stage, that dream should not let you sleep, so that you really, really live your dream. Basically, the message is, never doubt yourself. Failures are stepping stones to success. We are too much taken up by concerns all around. You're fortunate you're living here, but if you were in India, especially, there are many things which don't work. So we get consumed by those concerns. There's a large circle of our concerns. This doesn't work, that doesn't work. But in that milieu, we forget that small dot where we have direct influence. That's the area we have to work on. As a Chinese saying says that why bother about darkness all around? Light your own candle to remove some darkness around you. शिकवा जुल्मत शब से कहीं बेहतर था. शिकवा complaint जुल्मत darkness शब evening. शिकवा जुल्मत शब से कहीं बेहतर था कि अपने हिस्से की एक शमा जलाते जाते. Light your own candle, and this is what the entire team tried to do in case of this train that we developed. Nothing out of the world, just a little dream that we had by lighting our own torch. One last thing is, it's never wrong not to know something. Life is always a learning experience, but it is very pretentious to pretend to know that you know everything. This was something we worked on. Wherever there were gaps, none of us pretended that we know. We only engaged consultants to help us, with only the caveat that whatever wisdom they transfer to us becomes mine, so that in future I don't have to take those crutches again. My uncle Shakespeare has said that a fool doth think he is wise, but a wise man knows himself to be a fool. It is better to be a witty fool than a foolish wit. These were some things. Before I end, a look. Let's not be lost. Let's not be mesmerized by what we see in India today. Let's also look at this. This is how people still travel. Even today, as you and I face a lot of people traveling in India in this manner. What you see on the left side are also railway stations. What you see on the right are also railway stations. Can we be developed merely by building 50 to 100 such stations? Or are we going to be developed by removing such eyesores from our railway platforms? We have to do something about that. I'm presenting this because I was able to do a little bit about something. What you see on the Bangalore, will you ever see a porter carrying luggage in 3 tiers? Something on his arm, with somebody like me traveling next to him with pleasure. I banned it in Bangalore in 2012, provided everyone with a card, and they let them charge whatever they charge today. Because by providing them the card, I was not giving them comfort, but mainly I was giving them dignity, and by giving them dignity, I was giving dignity to myself. Even today, look at some of the way luggages on railway platform are carried, and I provided battery truck in Secunderabad and Bangalore. I don't know if it works today, but also look at the way cleaning is done on tracks. And this is back in 2005 in Secunderabad, when I would go and sit with those Safai Karmacharis next to them, because the first thing is to provide dignity to every countryman that we have, and other things can follow. In addition to the examples in the areas of technology also, we have to now reach a stage like Japan did long time back and China did 20 years back, to lead the world in some technology. It's not merely trying to assimilate or trying to duplicate a technology. It can be Hyperloop, it can be MATLAB, it can be hydrogen, it can be so many things, but there is one area where India must lead the world, and I await that day. Thank you very much. As my father said, for Shakespeare, that we know what we are through Ophelia, but know not what we may be time has come.